So we're here on this wonderful day with Joseph, one of our traders, who has done very well and loves the Mongol program, and has got
among other things.
has got a level 2 payout, which is just shy of $3,500 of late. And he wanted to join us on our quick 10-minute trader chat. So welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me.
No props, no props. Thanks for being a part and contributing. It means a lot. I thought we'd start with what sparked your interest in trading.
Oh, yeah. So, what sparked my interest in trading? It's kind of difficult to answer really fast. But the short of it is, I was in finance and insurance for several years, and I liked what I did. Was very good at sales, the whole lot, selling products and services to people. But I noticed in that line of work that it's also as lucrative as it can be. It commands a lot of your time, a lot of your attention, and it's a very high pressure environment. So I thought to myself, there has got to be a way to make similar money, if not even more, without such excessive pressure on your life. Because I'll tell you one thing: running a business, regardless of what it is, I'm sure you would probably know better than me, to be honest, is very taxing on the mind. It's quite stressful, and the less stress is just beneficial in every way, shape, and form. So I figured, what could I possibly do for a living that would be more, if not more lucrative, at least around as lucrative, but take less stress off me. So I saw a lot of my friends talking about the crypto bull run that happened in 2021. Until then, I'm going to be honest. I had just heard that it could be a scam, blah blah blah. I didn't know my own head from my ass, so to speak. So I didn't pay any attention to it. But when I started doing some serious research, I noticed two things. The first of which is what a damn idiot fool I was for missing the boat, as many other people noticed, and also what it could still yet become. And I also heard about forex before then, but I just dismissed it as, ugh. Although I looked into it more as well as crypto, and what I found couldn't be further from what I had assumed. So I wondered. I also knew two things. I didn't want to put everything I had personally into a personal account, because if something did go wrong, I wouldn't have anything to my name.
Sure.
So what I did was I started looking. Is there any way I could invest? I was looking at hedge funds initially, and then through Google searching, I discovered the concept of prop firms. I researched many of them, most of them like Search Trader, the Fivers, Funded Engineer, which has now been dissolved as a Search Trader, because again, they're virtual demo firms. They don't give you real money. And I knew that that was a goddamn value trap that was going to collapse the second the firms went amok. So I thankfully, through a friend of mine, I'm sure you may know Jiden Kirkpatrick, you may know him.
Yep.
He referred me to you guys, and I looked at you guys, and I knew right away you were the ones. I bought an account. First kind I ever bought was a Spanish. That did pretty well. I got multiple payouts. Unfortunately, that did expire during a very high impact news day in late July of this year, which is a huge bummer. But you can't have everything in life, you know? But then about a month later, I purchased a Mongol, which thankfully is still active today. I've scaled up the first two levels. And the reason it took so long for me to scale up early was because I was learning the concept. I was literally scaling up while learning the whole deal of the Forex space, what high impact news can do, what to watch for. So taking about the year to learn the skill, that's why scale ups were a little slower than I would personally like, but as a whole, you guys, everything I've ever needed from TCT, you guys have delivered to me without fail, without a doubt. And the people that I've referred could say the very same thing.
Fantastic. So, I mean, the next question was how long have you been trading for? And you sort of alluded there around 12 months. Would that be about right?
I'm 13 now. I joined, I believe, actually, no, 12, early September last year. So about a year, pretty much.
Okay.
Now, as
Fantastic.
a whole, yeah, I don't want to, sorry, I didn't interrupt. As a
No.
whole, I did experiment with Surge Trader in 2023. They did pay out twice. They did. But
Yep.
like I said, I knew that long term they'd be a goddamn value trap, so I could just take what I get. And they had these rules these virtual firms have that are designed to make you fail.
Yep. No, no.
They,
Listen, I do a bit of trading too, research. I had a Surge account, and yeah, that was a very sad, it was a very sad moment for the industry as well. What's been one of your biggest ouch moments when have you sort of gone, damn, am I? Is this the right thing for me?
always knew. I've never had a doubt that this could be turned into something big. But
Yep.
when my Spanish account did die, I was pissed. I'll
Yeah.
be blunt. I was pissed. Like it, because it had buffered. Because what I did, I basically have a martingale EA, and if you use like a low lot size for that kind of thing, it can work pretty goddamn well. But
Okay.
I gambled with high impact news, thinking shit doesn't usually go left. I'm just trying to really describe it, and lo and behold, it did, and yeah, not
Okay.
exactly a happy ending.
Okay. Okay. So, I mean, did you do any formal training? I mean, we're sort of hearing a story of hard knocks and experience, but did you do any formal training? Was there any education that you did prior to jumping in?
And to God, no. I literally walked through it as I went along. I thought about, okay, on week one, max drawdown was 2%. Okay, what did I make? I made about $300. When was it at max drawdown? Like I learned as I went along, for
Mhm.
instance. And now these terms are like what to do is so obvious to me. It's as easy as waking up and breathing air. But you asked earlier what other moment I had that really what damn moment that I had. I did have another ouch moment in early August where when my Mongol, I had it on a pair Euro GBP, and you would know this better than me. That pair is not volatile at all,
Mhm.
except the very rare occasions where it is. And even when it is, it takes weeks to correct down backwards to a necessary point. And
Mhm.
unfortunately, my drawdown, I hit about 5% drawdown over the weekend, and I decided to cut my damn loss. That was another ouch moment. I've since moved it to a pair I had been testing since February, where I'm 1000% sure I will never run into an issue anywhere close to it again. I'm speaking from my personal experience. But yeah, I that's another ouch moment. And one of the main strategies that I use to really grow my accounts is the directors. For instance, would buy a premier director. I'd level that up a
Mhm.
few times with various different EAs and manual trading. I've also gotten some payouts from those very nice accounts.
Okay.
Although the one thing I would say is I really do wish, just as there's a 7% profit target, that there'd be a 7% drawdown as juxtaposed to five. But then again, nobody can ever have everything. I'm just stating my personal desire, but
No, no,
maybe
no.
going a little off tangent on that, so I apologize. But
No, no, that makes sense. I mean, what we try and structure it so there is you've got a good risk reward that's positive, and one of those will always mean that your drawdown is less than, or sorry, your drawdown is less than your profit target. But that's why we have the Empire account, which has
which is the same.
that bigger.
Empires are by far the best, but they're by
Yeah,
far the most expensive. And the only, if somebody put a gun to my head and said, say something negative about TCT or die, I would
yeah,
say this. There is a bit of a, there is actually a bit of a financial barrier. Not for me, not for me. I have always had money,
yeah.
but for people I've tried to refer who are like paycheck to paycheck, they're a little undercapitalized, and getting them in the room is not exactly easy, unfortunately. But then
Well,
again, in order for business,
we do have our traditional programs for that, but understood, understood.
yeah.
Tell us about your strategy. You've touched on this a little bit, martingale. What sort of win loss you expect? What is your go-to strategy?
My personal strategy is my main EA is a martingale EA, and
Mhm.
what I do with that is I put it on the lowest possible starting lot size, 0.01.
Mhm.
And the reason why I do that is because as I'm pretty sure you know, I know, and a lot of people that are going to watch this know, martingale is a by nature dangerous strategy,
Yep.
and because of how dangerous that strategy is, you want to have the maximum safety net possible. Like I've seen fluctuations where 0.01, where the trades begin with 0.01, but they'll goddamn turn into 1.5 lot sizes. And
Yep.
that'll happen after like a 1.5% fluctuation. And then by the time I usually see that, it's about several $100s in drawdown. Now I do use pairs that usually fluctuate about that amount, like very, how do I say, safe by comparison pairs. I don't like trading gold, for instance, because gold isn't exactly predictable. And
Yeah.
prone to black swans. If it wasn't the black swans, my EA would work very, very well on gold. But all it takes is one bad day, and gold is at a hell of a lot of bad days. So my
That's
personal strategy is basically more of building by building, room by room, one rat at a time, day by day. I usually make about several dozen to $100+ a day
okay.
on my main Mongol, several dozen a day on my directors, that kind of stuff. A few hundred a day combined. I thought about locking a lot, but I figure scale up to higher levels because all it takes is one bad day, and the more drawdown you have, and nothing can ever be truly done about that except have the goddamn drawdown buffer required to survive.
Fair enough. No, that makes sense. What you sound like you've had an incredible journey. What's one of your favorite or most memorable trades?
Well, trade specifically, if I had to guess, there was one day where it was actually the day I passed my level 2 Mongol. I had some trades in limbo because GPUSD was at a very high level. It
Mhm.
plummeted. I turned off my EA, like gambling that it could go back down. I away from my computer for a few hours, doing something with my life. And then when I go back, I see my account is straight up passed and then some surplus profit. But you guys only pay up to the target amount anyway, so that's fine. But I passed, and my jaw hit the floor. I couldn't have been more glad.
So you switched off
So
the martingale, and then it actually the positions that you had in there went profitable.
yeah, and I'll tell you how I knew they would,
Yeah.
because it was right after the period of high impact news, and that pair had every indication of being criminally oversold.
Yep.
And there was no more high impact news, so I knew what are traders going to want to do when they are making big profits? They want to take the goddamn profits. So
Yep.
I foresaw that, okay, lo and behold, they might want to start selling. And they thankfully and absolutely did. Went down in dire cent, and I closed and it auto closed. It closed for me. I pretty much returned to the notification of passing.
Well done. Well done. That's always good. That's always good. Do you have any lucky charms for trading?
I wish I did. The market cannot ever be predicted. There's a lot of gray EAs in the world that use like indicators and whatnot. Well, they mostly work, but the
Yep.
market cannot ever be 100% predicted. Which is why, as dangerous as martingale can be, if you have it to that much of a buffer net and you have enough drawdown, it can pretty much withstand just about anything short of a act of God recession type of crisis. You know,
Well, I think with FX pairs, they do have this mean reverting characteristic, but there is always that saying that the market is going to go in the opposite direction than you longer than you can stay liquid. But it is one of those. It has that personality that does sort of suit martingale. So that's good. What about we've sort of touched on this. Do you have any hidden gems that you'd recommend? Tools, websites, EAs, charting packages? Is there anything that you use?
well, for high impact news, I can tell you exactly what I used to detect that. I used the MyFX Book Economic Calendar,
Yep.
as well as another site. I forget the name of it, so I'm not going to state it. But I
Yep.
use multiple sites to look for high impact news. I know about it well in advance because
Yep.
after seeing what happened to my Spanish account, fortunately it's gone. Nothing can ever bring that back.
Yep.
But after seeing what happened to that, I figured, okay, I can't really ignore this kind of thing anymore. So yeah, I definitely want to be alert for that. Always want to look out for that. Another thing I'd say is really don't go into this thinking, okay, I want to make 100% a month. I want to scale up top level in 6 weeks. It will not happen unless you found a way to bypass every broker safeguard imaginable and make HFT work on a live account. It will not goddamn happen.
Yeah. Fair enough. No, it's not easy. I mean, you talked about the analogy to a business, and trading is very much like a business. And if you've thought of it, someone else has thought of it. What about what sort of tech setup do you have? Do you trade with 10, 20 monitors? Are you a laptop guy? What's your trading setup?
Over laptop guy. If I want to see how my account's doing, I will literally just log into my VPS, pull it up, and bam, I've got the dashboard, the charts in front of me. I can see exactly what's going on, why it's going on, and what could happen from there.
Okay.
That's actually quite easy for me.
So you do use a lot of EAs.
Oh yeah. I use one as my main, but I also use a couple on the side that I test for other accounts that I have, particularly ones with smaller drawdowns, because I'm not going to put a martingale EA on a director that only has $450 a drawdown.
No, no,
the
that's
100 equity. That would be criminally stupid. I would be at that point begging to flush my money down the toilet.
yeah, that's true. What advice do you have for aspiring traders?
I'll tell you this. Even though I'm glad with what ended up happening with me, get goddamn educated first. Don't plunge your head into it the way I did, because I've naturally been a pretty smart guy, and I figured I have money to spare, so I'll persist. But a
Mm,
lot of people who are in different positions get educated. Learn everything first. Don't just plunge headlong like the way I did, and really want to learn everything you possibly can about a concept before you go into it. In addition to that, I would say be prepared for the long haul. I don't
yeah.
expect, for instance, my Mongo, I'm not expecting it to hit top level until late 26, early 27.
Okay. Okay.
It's a years
Well,
long proposition.
well,
Years.
I think that's right. If you break things down into days and you can consistently make 150, 200, $300 a day,
I
that
would up the
all
lot
that,
size as I have more equity,
yeah,
marginally, but yeah,
that
it's
all
going to take yeah, it's about a just safely scale the top level unless you are a much better trader than I will ever be, which is absolutely possible. It's always possible.
yeah.
Expected to be 2.5 to 3.5 years.
Yeah, that seems reasonable. What trades are on your radar at the moment, or how do you look at your next pair that you're gonna attack?
Well, when it comes to a pair, I put it on my EAs and I make it wait 90 business days before I decide to deploy it. Like for instance, USD JPY after Euro GBP shit the bed, for lack of better words. I could easily immediately switch to that because I had been testing it since February. I loved what I saw, but there was a part of me that said the minutiae of differences between demo accounts and main accounts would make results like that too good to be true. But I knew after what happened, I had to try. Thankfully, I don't seem to be disappointed. Or maybe I should say it another way, I haven't been disappointed since I've
Okay,
done that.
okay,
So I can tell you from that side of it, whenever I test a pair, I make it wait 90 business days before deciding whether it's good or not, because I need to see what it does during multiple cycles of non-farm payrolls. Their country's respective bank interest rate. Like let's say Japan, the Bank of Japan is meeting to lower rates. I need to know what the hell happens on the days of the bank's meeting and when they announce. Like I need to know what it does during high impact news before I make a decision. Also, what drawdowns it has and what profits I end up making.
okay. That's you're a very patient man. I think a lot of people would jump in before that, but that's really good
But by the
advice.
grace of God, time is the one thing I have on my side. I've got a good amount of money, thank God, and I'm only 24.
Well,
So
that's great.
time is
That's great.
actually a little more than on my side.
Joseph, you've hit it at the right time by the sounds of things. Final question to wrap up our sort of 10-minute trader spotlight, which has been enlightening. In your opinion, what sets the concept trading apart from other firms? You've talked about referring people. You are a good advocate of our company. What is it that sets us apart?
Three things. Number one, unlike most of these other prop firms, you guys use live funds, real
Mm,
money,
mhm,
live servers. Like that $10 million Mongol account, that's $10 million of real money, isn't it?
mm.
That's my point. You guys use real money. You don't use virtual simulated demo funds. And the
No,
way you
you
guys
get
make
paid by
money,
the market. Your gains come from the market, from trading other people.
it,
Yep.
that legitimate gains, in other words, unlike most of these prop firms.
Yep.
And another thing that I'll say is that you guys are regulated. Like you guys have actual financial services license, and I've never seen another prop firm to add that ever has had anything close to that.
Okay.
Ever, and I doubt I ever will. And also, if you can survive the journey over the years, the maximum capital amounts are just immeasurable. What other prop firm on planet Earth with no rules other than don't hit max drawdown is going to let you have a $15 million account?
Well,
Find it.
like you said, you got to earn it. I mean, you got to scale up to that. It's your gains that are getting reinvested. But you're right. It is. It
And
is.
the other part, and the last thing that I'm sorry to finish it off.
No, no, go, go, go. I was
Okay.
finished.
The last thing that I really love, and this is more so than anything else, you have no rules other than not hitting max drawdown.
Yeah.
If somebody could make an HFTEA work on a live account, you guys would give it blessing. That's how lenient you are.
Yeah.
If you can make money in any way, shape, or form trading, you guys say yes. No restrictions, which it's beautiful. I can't say enough good things about it. I can't. And look, I am in a position where you guys, with the model that you guys have set up, if all pans out properly for me, I will be in a position to pretty much damn near retire before the decade is out.
Well, on that note, we're going to come back and check in and see how that's going. Maybe you can,
Of course.
we can meet up in person for the next meeting and have a chat about what's going on.
I'd love nothing more than to come to Australia, but I'm not going to do that for a little while, but maybe a couple of years, until I can back up a claim like that.
Love it.
Validly, but yeah, nonetheless, though, I can't say enough good things, nor can the clients that I've referred, and I plan on referring many, many more. And you did mention your traditional program. I do mostly like it, but personally for me, those kinds of drawdowns are quite small, if I must be brutally honest. Until the higher levels, when you have like tens of thousands and it goes up. But until that time,
it's all relative to the position size you take. But we hear that. But Joseph, thank you so much for being with us and sharing your insights and what you do trading. I'm sure it helps a lot of other people. And keep up the good work. We hope to see you charging up the ranks.
God willing, that is my absolute plan.
Good to see.
Thanks a million for having me.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yep.
All right. Well done.
Okay. How did I do?
Perfect.
I'm serious.
No. Fine, mate. It's just a natural thing. We're going to do as many of these as we can. We've done people from all around the world. So perfect.
You may have to edit a little bit of my sailor mouth, but
no, that's okay. That's okay.
But here's the thing, and a couple of off the record questions. Now, JJ Long probably told you the deal I have for this to get my Spanish. It was a level 3, but I'm getting it back a level 1, which is more than enough compared to the no that I thought I was going to hear. So first off, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Honest to God, thank you for that.